bring on about writers, Michael, to come in and just, Mike, when you read a story, when you saw it, what did you think about the government, about Boris Johnson, about Matthew Hancock, indeed?
Thank you so much, Mike. Look, the issue here isn't Boris Johnson, to be quite frank. It isn't Matthew Hancock. The issue here is Dominic Cummings. You see, the Prime Minister, as someone who's worked in politics before, the Prime Minister should have, it is well within his prerogative to be able to have some frank conversation with his special advisors. Whether he or she, depending on who it is at the moment, agrees with what a particular cabinet minister is doing publicly, I should be able to say privately when I'm disappointed and upset at someone I'm working with without the fear that my special advisor might leak it. I think what Dominic Cummings is doing is actually quite frankly a bit childish. It's also, exposing how personal this fight has become between him and Matt Hancock. Dominic is playing this game, Mike, that for whatever reason we're all going along with, right? And it's called, woe is me, I tried my best, and now I'm going to expose how terrible everyone else is. What he forgets to mention is that he was the most influential non-elected person in the United Kingdom. He's complicit. The story that I'd like to see in the news is, Dom, what did you do? He spent 7 hours, I think 3 weeks ago, telling the House of Commons, which is, Parliament, how everyone else didn't listen to him because, of course, he's the only one with brilliant ideas and he's the only one who knows how to make things work. Personally, I think news outlets shouldn't give any legs to it. They shouldn't give it any oxygen, purely because the source is tainted. And that's journalism 101. If you do not trust the source, if the source cannot be seen to be objective, as an editor, you have a responsibility to say, well, Dom, what are your objectives? And I know, Mike, I've veered the original question.
No. It's a great one. I was just going to jump in and ask you, what do you think his play is? Because that's something I think people have been scratching their head about. Is he just, is it the typical case of a disgruntled ex-employee who is now angry and wants to kind of mess things up? Or is there something deeper going on? Because it is odd. First, he gave that testimony, you remember, at the select committee, where he literally just berated the whole government and just let out lots of sensitive stuff. And now he's releasing very strategically, WhatsApp messages, text, and you kind of go, what is he playing now? What is he doing?
Mike, you're spot on. It's a simple case of this. No one negates the fact that Dominic Cummings might have some brilliant ideas. I think it would be irresponsible of me to come on this platform and say, look, Dom doesn't have great ideas. He does. You learn from all sorts of people. But I also do think it's a case of he didn't get his way, whatever that way was. And therefore now I am going to throw my toys out the cot. Let's just all press rewind if you live in the United Kingdom. And not too long ago, when Dominic Cummings told everyone in the nation he drove half an hour to test his eyesight and then called a press conference in the Rose Garden, unprecedented. Only prime ministers do that until that point. Just to tell us how sorry he was, not for his actions, that it might have offended people. Here's the thing. It's someone for me, it's a simple case of someone who likes to give it, but is not able to take. Dom, if I'm being very honest, has no leg to stand on in this scenario. He should have been fired at that point. When you break the COVID-19 regulations as the most senior unelected official in the government, special advisor to the prime minister, you're the king's right hand, metaphorically speaking. And if you do not have the sense to resign after breaking COVID rules, I don't think you have the right to expose Boris Johnson, whether, Mike, his tweets his WhatsApp messages to Dom are valid or not. That's neither here nor there. A prime minister should have the prerogative to say what he or she wants to somebody he is paying. I'm paying you to listen to my nonsense. I'm paying you a high-level salary to go back and forth with me, but you're helping me to process ideas and strategy. So Dom is childish. Dom is disappointing. Should have been fired. He has no leg to stand on. The British media needs to stop wasting resources reporting this childish, selfish, and I would argue it's a personal vendetta that he's driving through the media. Dom needs to go find a job where he's put away somewhere in a I don't know, in the back seat somewhere to come up with all these brilliant ideas and execute them. Leave us alone, Dominic. We are tired.